Oh, Bears fans, it's been a long season, but they did beat the Seahawks. But these are just depressing numbers, and if you don't know what they are, basically, I've been challenging my boy Chase Sr. over at the 49ers Report all season long on subscribers, and through the offseason and early on the season, we were getting way more subscribers. But as the Bears started to lose and the Niners have started to win, look at the last 28 days. He has me beat by 2,000 subscribers. Hey, hang on one second. Chase texted me, I'm kicking you. The guy's just talking shit now. He just texted me saying that, yeah, you see the last 28 days? Yeah, Chase, I see it. It's right here on screen. Help me out. Subscribe. I know the Bears, it's been a tough watch, but it's going to be a fun offseason, so let's get the momentum back on track. I want to catch up to the 49ers Report eventually. We cut it down to like 7,000 sub difference. He's back up to like 9,500 lead on me. Come on, subscribe to the channel. We got a jam-packed show planned for you guys, so hit sub and enjoy today's show. What's going on, Bears fans? I'm your host, Harrison Graham, here on Chicago Bears Now. I got some juicy rumors and some news items as well, including some COVID updates for later in the video, so stay tuned for that. Would have gotten a video out sooner, but it's been a busy day at Chat Sports. People are on vacation. I've been pulled stretch thin, but I'm still getting a video out for you guys because that's how much I care. All right, today's Bears Rumors Roundup. Let's start with this one. Is Matt Nagy going to coach the final two games? We were speculating maybe the Bears will fire him here on Monday. They did not. For Smoking Jays, I mean, bear down. If you're not firing him today, you're not going to fire him before the last game, right? I mean, I just expect Matt Nagy to coach the final two games at this point. And really the origin comes from the man himself as he held his normal Monday press conference. And he was asked straight up, are you under the assumption that you're going to coach the final two games? And he said yes. So that tells me one of two things. One, the Bears are doing an incredible job of communicating with Matt, saying, hey, you've been fired, but you're going to coach the final two games, but don't tell anyone that that's what's happened. Or they actually haven't had those conversations yet. And I think that's where we're at. I don't think George McCaskey and the Bears have told Matt Nagy firmly if he's done. Now, I think he knows that that's where this is heading eventually, but I don't think he's been told straight up that he's already been terminated, that he's already not going to be the head coach in 2022. Now, most in NFL circles, I believe it, you guys believe it, we all believe that Matt Nagy will be fired, but this is just so classic Bears, right? Like, the NFL comes up with this new rule where you can interview assistant coaches in the final 2 weeks of the season. Of course, the Bears don't take advantage of it, right? We're a classy organization. We're not going to fire a coach mid-season. Dude, Matt Nagy knows he's gone. Like, what, he beats the Giants and the Vikings the last 2 weeks, you're going to bring him back? No, you're not. Like, it's over. We all know it. He knows it. Just rip the Band-Aid off, which is what I said following this Seahawks win, which that was miraculous in itself. And the reason it's over is because we've seen how this has trended over the last 3 years. It just hasn't been the same since the 12-4 season in his first year back in 2018. 8-8, 8-8, and then 5-10 this year with a lot of embarrassingly bad losses to go along with it. So it's frustrating, but I do believe that Nagy will coach the final two games and that the Bears will not take advantage of this new rule. Now, I do want to emphasize that I would be shocked if Matt Nagy is back. I would be shocked. So I don't think we need to panic about the Bears making a coaching change. But you do wonder, and I do get a little worried, do the Bears have a plan? Do they have a plan? Does George McCaskey know what he's doing? And I think that's fair to ask because the Bears' organizational structure is a mess right now. Where does Ted Phillips fit in all this? Is Ryan Pace a part of the future? Now, you could, and I've seen this theory thrown out there, maybe the Bears are just letting Nagy run out the string because this new rule where you can interview assistant coaches doesn't apply for GM candidates, so you can't fire Pace and start interviewing GM candidates on other staff. So maybe they're like, well, if we're going to fire Pace too, who interviews GM or who interviews coaching candidates if we don't have a GM in place? And maybe the Bears want to get a GM in place first, so you have to wait after the final two games. If that's the case, that's fine, but why not just come out and say that, right? Like, why not release a statement, hey, Matt's going to coach the final two games, and then we're going to move in a different direction after the year? You could do that. I mean, there's no problem doing that whatsoever, and that's why I think it's fair for us to be worried if this organization has a real plan or if they're still truly operating on the fly here and have not made a final decision on Matt Nagy. If they don't know by now if he's the coach or not, that's an issue. That is a big, big issue. Do you trust George McCaskey? Type T for trust, type D for don't. I will make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, get your votes in. I think there's reason for pause here. Do you trust him? Type T for trust or type D for don't. Let's keep it moving here on today's Bears Rumors Roundup. Justin Fields, is he going to return this season? I think so. 3 smoking Jays on this one. A lot of speculation. Oh, just shut the rookie quarterback down. He's got the ankle injury. But Matt Nagy did not really say that at his press conference earlier today. He was asked straight up, have you considered shutting down Fields for the final 2 games, since obviously the Bears are not going to make the playoffs? And he said, I don't anticipate us doing that. That's essentially what he said. Obviously missed last week with an ankle injury against Seattle. Was in a walking boot to most of the week, according to Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune. So that's pretty interesting. Maybe that's just a precaution, but that could hint that maybe the injury is a little more severe than we thought. Obviously, it was at least somewhat severe. He missed a game, right? Nagy did say, though, that, look, Fields wants to play if he's healthy. And, I see both sides of it when it comes to Justin Fields. I am a little conflicted on playing him because, A, you're not making the playoffs. Do you want to risk a major injury over these final 2 weeks? But at the same time, from a fan perspective and just entertainment value, I'd much rather watch Justin Fields than Nick Foles or Andy Dalton, if we're being completely honest. He at least brings some juice to some of these games. So conflicted. We'll talk more about this coming up in just a moment. Something I'm not conflicted on is this deal for you guys. And I already got my Justin Fields jersey, but this is the time to get yours. Maybe you got some Christmas money in your stocking. Get this Fields jersey for only $90. Go to chatsports.com/Fields jersey. Only the Navy one is at this price. You can surf Fanatics, which is the website that you'll get redirected to from chatsports.com/Fields jersey for other colors, but they're a little more expensive. This is the deal of the day, $90 for this particular version. Get it today. Nike Authentic Justin Fields jersey, only $90. We'll put that link in the comments and in the description. Obviously, Fields, the raw stats, I mean, it looks like a rookie, right? 59%, under 2,000 yards as he's been in and out of the lineup, plus at times when he's played, the offense isn't working. He's missed some throws. The receivers haven't gotten open. It's been a combination of everything, 7 to 10 touchdown interception ratio. He's ran the ball well. He showed off the wheels. That's certainly a strength of his game, as we all know. And I've said for a few weeks now that you look at the advanced metric, a lot of like the next-gen stats, he hasn't been nearly as bad as the raw stats suggest. Throwing the ball downfield, he's actually been really impressive, especially in the second half of the season. But as far as, do I want him to play against the Giants and the Vikings? I'm conflicted because obviously every live rep matters, especially for a young quarterback, because the more you play, the more you see, the more you figure out about what these defenses are doing. But do these reps count in this offense that you probably won't be running next year, right? I mean, do you want him to play in Matt Nagy's offense for 2 more games when you're almost certainly going to change the coach? I don't know. It's conflicting, right? I'll tell you this. If he's not close to 100%, don't play him. Like, if he's 85%, you don't play him. I mean, that's just that's coaching malpractice. That's franchise malpractice. But, look, if he's almost 100% and there's no risk of major injury, then I'd like to see him play. It's fun when he's out there, even though he's inconsistent as a rookie. But, I'd much rather see him play than Nick Foles, even though Foles played decent against Seattle. So what do you think? Do you want Fields to play in the final 2 games? Y for yes, N for no. Obviously, I want to see him play, but I don't want him to get injured either. Get your votes in. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let's talk more coaching stuff here. How about hiring Jim Harbaugh? One smoking Jay. I'd like to hire Harbaugh. I'd be fired up about it. I don't know if he's my top candidate, but I would certainly if I got a phone notification tomorrow, Bears are planning to hire Jim Harbaugh, I'd be like, cool, that works for me. Now, only one smoking Jay. This rumor originates from Michigan message boards, which, if you're familiar with college football, message boards are a huge rumor mill, 24/7 sports. A lot of these paid sites, as the boss man would call them, the blog boys, are kind of all over this stuff. Lots of chatter from these message boards that Harbaugh is the Bears' top target. Who knows if that's actually true? I don't know if I buy it. Also, other rumors originating from these message boards is that he could be offered up to $12 million a year. That's where I really pause, because the McCaskies, I don't imagine. I can't think of them as owners that would pay a coach $12 million a year. I just that would surprise me. But maybe it's possible. Who knows? But I will say this: I think it's pretty unlikely Harbaugh will leave Michigan at this time, because his stock is recovered and his status at Michigan is pretty firm right now. He finally beats Ohio State. He finally wins the Big Ten. He finally gets the Wolverines to the college football playoff. What if he wins a national title? Is he going to leave that job for Chicago? I guess he could. He played for the Bears, and if the Bears offer enough money, maybe Harbaugh could say, hey, I'm leaving Michigan on top. I came here to win a natty. I just did that. I'm going back to the NFL. Sure, I mean, that he could certainly do that. And if there's one thing we know about Jim Harbaugh, one, he's a bit of an odd guy, and two, you look at his tenure, he doesn't stay at places super long, right? So if anyone would win a national title and choose to leave, it would be Jim Harbaugh. I will say that. He was at San Diego for 3 years, took the Stanford job, turned that program around. Obviously did really good things with the 49ers, got to the Super Bowl, a couple of NFC title games. Has done well at Michigan, not as well as they had hoped, but now he's finally got them to where they want to be, and that is in national title contention. And overall record has been very, very impressive as well. Here's what I'll say. Whether these rumors, I won't call them reports, are true from these message boards, you got to start the search. And that's why keeping Nagy these final 2 weeks is stupid, in my opinion, even if you don't have the GM finalized. Okay, George McCaskey, if you want the GM to hire your new head coach, that's fine. You can conduct these interviews during this 2-week period. That's valuable. If nothing else, you get background information and a more of a clearer picture on some of these candidates. And then when week 18 ends, you hire a GM, and then you do second interviews, right? There's no harm in doing some initial interviews, some vetting over these 2 weeks, but you can't really do that if you keep Matt Nagy. So it's all a mess. But it wouldn't be the Bears if they didn't make it harder than it needs to be. So we'll see what happens with Harbaugh. I tend to think he's going to stay at Michigan. How excited would you be if Harbaugh was the next head coach? Scale from 0 to 100. 0 being it's the worst hire in franchise history. Bring back Mark Trestman. 100 being this is the best hire. They're going to win the Super Bowl next year. I mean, I'd be at like an 85. It'd be a high B, probably like 85, 88, 90. I mean, he's won in the NFL. He's gone to a Super Bowl. He's winning at Michigan right now. So, yeah, I'd be pretty damn excited. Quick reminder, I'm getting crushed in subscribers by the 49ers report the last month or so, the last 28 days. Got to close that gap. Get subscribed. Free daily videos will also be live tomorrow here on this channel, youtube.com/BearsNow. Shut Chase and the 49ers faithful fans up. Come on, help a brother out, subscribe. All right, real quick, some COVID alerts, and then we will sign off. These 5 players are all returning from the COVID list. Allen Robinson, Jaylon Johnson, Tashaun Gipson, Jesse James, and Ryan Nall. My only strong existential, I guess, opinion on this is I do want to see Thomas Graham and Jaylon Johnson play together. But Matt Nagy will probably start Artie Burns instead, just like he did against Seattle. But hopefully we get to see the Johnson-Graham duo, because who knows? Maybe this is your future at cornerback. We know Jaylon Johnson is penciled in as a starter at CB for at least the next 2 years while he's still under contract. But I think Thomas Graham has a chance to at least be one of your either CB2 or nickels moving forward. So I'd like to see them play together. Forget Artie Burns. He's not a part of the future. Stop playing these bums that are on one-year contracts. Play the young guys, Matt. Just do right by the organization and play the young guys. All right. Hopefully we get to see that tandem against the Giants. Who you got at Soldier Field? It's going to be a barn burner. It's we're calling this the first-round pick Justin Fields draft day game. We could get the Fields Fromm game. For those of you who know that story, Justin Fields was Jake Fromm's backup at Georgia, and many believe they should have gone to Fields. He transfers to Ohio State. The rest is history, but I don't know. Could be the Mike Glennon revenge game, too. There's a lot of storylines in this one. Type NYG for the Giants. Type CHI for the Bears. Hey, we're going to be watching it. We're going to have a live watch party, so join us for that and get your votes in.